Welcome back to Interview Mock Lab podcast.
Great to be back.
If you're aiming to land that graphic designer role you've been dreaming of, well, this is definitely for you.
Yeah, today we're looking at what really makes a strong candidate stand out. Those crucial interview moments.
Exactly. We've pulled insights from some really practical guides. Think of them like your prep sheet just to help you feel confident and, well, ready.
And our goal today really is to unpack what hiring managers are actually listening for in that graphic design interview.
Right.
We'll use the ideas from these resources to show you how to talk about your skills and experience effectively, not just listing things off.
Yeah, it's about connecting them to what the company actually needs.
Precisely.
All right, let's jump right into it then. The very first hurdle in almost any interview, tell me about yourself.
The classic opener.
Yeah, and the material we looked at makes it super clear you have to practice this one. Practice it until it feels, completely natural.
It really is your opening statement, isn't it? Your first impression.
Yeah.
Nailing it confidently just sets the whole tone.
Totally.
And the key isn't like your life story. It's all about tailoring your answer.
Tailoring it how?
Well, focusing on the skills and qualities you have that directly overlap with that specific job description.
Absolutely. Think of it almost like your elevator pitch hit those key selling points immediately.
Yeah.
The guides suggest framing yourself right off the bat as highly creative, fast-working, and adaptable.
And someone who can quickly grasp what a brief is actually asking for. That's key.
Right.
Yes. And crucially, mentioning your skills. It's not just about generic graphic design skills.
Okay.
It's about showing they're relevant to this industry. Maybe even specifically mentioning experience with tight deadlines or strict timescales, as one resource put it.
Gotcha. So link your creativity directly to how it benefits their brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helping it stand out. It's a crowded market out there.
It definitely is. It's also about presenting yourself as someone reliable, maybe even a high achiever, someone who gets positive feedback. And that point about adaptability you mentioned that feels really important too, showing you're flexible.
Yeah, willing to adjust your work based on, commercial needs. Because let's face it,
Things change. Client requirements shift.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I really liked how one guide emphasized taking personal responsibility for your own growth.
So.
Mentioning that you actively keep your skills current, that you stay on trend.
Hmm.
It isn't just good for you.
Right. It reassures them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It tells them your work will always be fresh, engaging, current.
So for you listening, starting with this kind of targeted answer does way more than just introduce you.
Oh, much more.
It immediately signals relevance, professionalism, and potential value. You're not just a graphic designer.
Yeah, potentially the right graphic designer for them.
Right.
Okay, so once you've made that initial connection, they'll probably want to understand your motivation.
Which leads to a question like, why do you want to be a graphic designer?
Exactly. And this is your chance to really let your passion show.
Yeah, the resources really encourage talking about the sheer joy of expressing creativity, the satisfaction you get from bringing ideas to life visually.
Absolutely. And don't forget the dynamic nature of the job itself.
What do you mean?
Well, the guides point out the constant variety. No two projects are ever really the same, are they?
True.
So this requires you to continuously learn, stay current, adapt to changing commercial demands. If you genuinely enjoy that part of it,
Then say so.
yeah, talk about it.
I also found it interesting that they mentioned the freedom and trust often placed in a designer.
That's a great point.
If you thrive on that challenge, being given a concept and trusted to deliver something excellent, that's definitely worth mentioning.
Totally agree. And reiterate that variety element too. Because each job is unique, it demands careful thought, problem solving.
Pushing for innovative ways to meet different briefs.
Right, that challenge could be a real motivator for some people.
So for you listening, articulating why you love the craft itself, it just goes beyond saying you want a job.
Way beyond.
It demonstrates a deeper commitment, enthusiasm. It makes you a much more compelling candidate. You're not just clocking in.
They're invested. You care about the work.
Exactly.
Now, here's one that can sometimes trip people up because it's so concise. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, yeah, that one. Feels a bit like a pop quiz, doesn't it?
It kind of does. But the thinking behind it, apparently, according to the resources, is that the hiring manager is looking for a quick, memorable snapshot.
Like a shortcut to understanding your fit.
Yeah, basically. A way to quickly grasp if your core qualities seem like they align.
Okay.
And what's really key here isn't just the words you choose, but why you choose them.
the reasoning behind them.
Precisely. One guide gave some excellent examples and, crucially, explained the why. The words were industrious, creatively astute, and highly adaptable.
Okay, so let's break those down. Industrious. That's not just saying you work hard.
Right. The explanation links it directly to reliability, you're hardworking, and you never miss a deadline. It's concrete, tangible.
Makes sense. And creatively astute. That sounds intriguing. More than just creative.
Yeah, it is. The explanation dives deeper. It suggests it means you quickly gain clarity on a brief, you understand it fast, and you have the experience to figure out exactly what's needed for the task.
So it implies smart, experienced creativity, not just throwing ideas out there.
Exactly. And highly adaptable wasn't just about being flexible in general.
Yeah.
It was specifically linked to being willing to put in extra hours for time-sensitive projects and, importantly, consistently taking on feedback to improve.
To stay at the top of your game.
Yes.
So why is explaining the why so critical for you, the listener?
Well, because anyone can pick 3 nice-sounding adjectives, right? But connecting those words to specific behaviors or experiences or actual qualities, that makes them believable, impactful.
It turns buzzwords into actual evidence of your character and work ethic.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, moving on to the substance of the role itself. You'll likely be asked something like, what are the most important skills and qualities needed to be a graphic designer?
Yeah, and being able to confidently name and describe these really shows you understand the core requirements of the profession. It shows competence.
So what did the resources highlight?
Well, a pretty comprehensive set.
Yeah.
At the top, naturally, are strong and up-to-date IT skills. Meaning proficiency in the standard design and photo editing software, of course, but also being aware of and comfortable with the latest tech advancements relevant to design.
Okay, makes sense. And obviously,
outstanding creativity and innovation.
Yeah.
It's almost a given, right? Non-negotiable in this field.
but beyond the purely creative side,
The practical skills are just as vital. Things like awesome time management, organization, planning, absolutely essential to meet deadlines reliably.
yeah, you can be the most creative person ever, but if you miss deadlines,
It's a problem, a big one. Good communication skills are also high on the list.
including patience, right? Especially when dealing directly with clients.
Definitely patience. And something often overlooked but highlighted in the resources is commercial awareness.
Commercial awareness. Tell me more.
It means always having an eye on the practical stuff, costs, deadlines, time constraints while you're designing. Remembering that design exists within a business context.
That's a really good point. Design isn't just art for art's sake in a commercial setting.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
finally, the ability to respond quickly and constructively to feedback and requested changes.
Being open to iteration.
Yes. Design is often collaborative, and being too precious about your initial ideas isn't usually very productive.
So how can you, our listener, use this list effectively?
Well, don't just memorize it. That's not the point.
Right.
Be prepared to back each one up. Have a brief, specific example ready from your portfolio or past work experience. Show them how you actually demonstrate these skills.
Show, don't just tell.
Always. Okay, now, shifting the focus a bit, away from you and towards them, the why do you want to work for us question.
Ah, yes. This is a direct test, isn't it? Did you do your homework?
Absolutely. Researching the company beforehand isn't optional. It's mandatory.
You have to.
The guides suggest identifying at least, say, 2 or 3 specific, genuine reasons why this particular company appeals to you, not just generic stuff.
Specifics are key. The example answers we saw gave some great ideas for structuring this.
Like what?
Like starting by expressing admiration for the company, maybe even mentioning if you've followed their work for a while.
Okay, genuine appreciation. Then,
And then get specific. What is it about them? Perhaps you admire how they push creative boundaries.
or maybe you've noticed they take smart, calculated risks for growth, and you find that exciting.
Yeah, or referencing their culture or working environment could be powerful too.
How so?
Well, if you've heard positive things, maybe that it's inclusive, collaborative, offers creative freedom, mention that, and explain why it resonates with you.
Right, connect it back to yourself.
Right.
And connect your aspirations to their opportunity.
Yes. State your belief that you'll find genuine job satisfaction there. And if it's true, express a desire to build a long-term career with their team.
So for you listening, this isn't just about saying you want the job.
No, it's showing you've invested time, you understand their identity, their values,
It demonstrates you're not just spamming applications everywhere.
but that you specifically want this opportunity with this company. It shows intent.
which naturally leads to the flip side. What are you looking for in your next graphic design position?
Right. This helps them gauge if your personal goals and what you seek in a workplace actually align with what they offer.
And with the needs of this particular role, is it a good match?
The examples given in the material were quite aspirational, which I thought was good. Like
Right.
talking about seeking a position where you can really push your creative limits, explore the boundaries of design work.
Nice. Ambition is good. Collaboration was also key in the examples.
Yeah, looking for opportunities to work across different departments, not just stuck in a design silo.
And wanting responsibility for challenging graphic design tasks, showing you're ready to step up and handle complex projects.
The work environment came up again here too, seeking an inclusive space where people are encouraged to grow and achieve.
And looking for a dynamic workplace, one with a positive buzz, some energy.
Definitely. And finally, the value of interaction, wanting to be able to bounce ideas off talented colleagues.
To create truly outstanding work together. It shows you value teamwork and learning from others.
So how does aligning your answer here with the company's known culture or the role description actually benefit you?
Well, it strongly reinforces the idea that, one, you've done your research,
Check.
and two, that you'll likely be happy and actually thrive in their specific environment.
Which reduces their risk in hiring you, makes you seem like a safer bet.
Exactly. It suggests a good long-term fit.
Okay, the last classic we'll tackle today, the inevitable. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
The big one. Strengths are usually the easier part, right? You get to talk yourself up a bit.
Yeah, but weaknesses. That requires careful navigation. And the cardinal rule from all the advice seems to be never, ever name a weakness that's absolutely critical for the job itself.
Oh, absolutely not. That's shooting yourself in the foot. The guide provided some strong examples for strengths, though, paired with good explanations.
Such as?
For instance, listing commercial awareness as a strength.
Okay, we talked about that skill earlier.
Right. But the explanation isn't just saying you have it. It's explaining what it means in practice. Like, you consider time and expenditure to ensure your design delivers a positive ROI for the client or company.
Got it. Makes it concrete. Any other strength examples?
Yeah, diverse creative skills. Again, explain not just as being generally creative, but how it adds value.
How?
Like, you can contribute effectively to any team because you can tackle challenging projects that have specific business objectives tied to them.
Versatility with a purpose.
Exactly. And collaboration capabilities. This wasn't just saying, I'm a team player.
And nuance.
Yeah, framing it as prioritizing the team's needs, being able to work seamlessly across different departments. It's about the practical application of teamwork.
Okay, those are solid strengths. Now for the tricky part, the weakness. What was a common example?
A common one given was finding it hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
To colleagues asking for help or taking on additional work.
Potentially taking on too much without really assessing your current workload capacity.
Exactly. It's relatable for many people.
So how do you present that?
And here's the critical piece, how you address it.
Yeah.
You don't just state the weakness and leave it hanging there.
No.
You state that you are aware this is a weakness, that self-awareness is key.
Okay.
And, crucially, that you are actively taking steps to manage it. Maybe being more mindful of your workload, using tools to track capacity, learning to politely decline when necessary.
So for you listening, framing a weakness this way is incredibly important. It doesn't present you as flawed or incapable. It actually presents you as self-aware, honest.
And committed to personal and professional growth.
Right. It turns a potential negative into a demonstration of maturity and proactivity.
Precisely. It shows you understand where you might need to improve, and more importantly, that you're actively working on it. That's what employers want to see.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about turning it into a positive signal.
Definitely.
Thank you, listeners. We really hope this discussion has been helpful in preparing for your graphic design interview.
Yeah, hopefully it gives you some solid frameworks.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Interview Mock Lab YouTube channel for more insights.
As you reflect on these questions and start prepping your own answers, maybe consider this. Beyond just listing skills and answering the prompts, how will you convey that unique spark?
What do you mean by spark?
That specific way your creative perspective, combined with that sharp commercial eye we talked about, is exactly what this particular company needs to really make their brand stand out. What specific story, what unique angle will you bring?